Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here. We will have from Arizona softball head coach Caitlin Lowe, Reagan Shockey, and Devyn Netz. After head coach gives an opening statement, we can proceed with questions. I ask that if you do have questions, raise your hand and then pass the mic to the next person who raises their hand. So without further ado, we'll start with an opening statement from Coach. Thank you all.
Yeah, just welcome to Tucson. Just excited to get started in this regional. It's very exciting for the team to host this weekend in Tucson, and I know our fans are going to be out in full force, so just ready to go and welcome some really good competition here. I think it's a really excellent regional, and it's going to be tough competition top to bottom, so we're ready to get going.
So facing a team that's coming into their first tournament ever, what's that like?
I think it's exciting just to get your name called on Selection Sunday. I think everyone's sitting there with the anticipation. Obviously, those auto berths are earned all year long, so they're a great team coming in. And all of these games are going to be tough on the road to get where we want to go. So we know we have to play our game and come out really with our type of energy and set a tone for our game. But it's exciting. I think the Selection Sunday is where you want to be to see your name called, to see your name host a regional, and we're excited for the competition this weekend.
Caitlin, what can you tell us about how you plan to pitch your staff this weekend?
I would not tell you that over my dead body. No, I think our bullpen is very strong, and we've proven that we've used quite a few different arms with different matchups throughout the entire year. I'm excited to use them in different ways, in ways that I'm not going to tell you about right now. But I trust that Christian knows what he's doing. I trust that our pitchers will be ready to come in and do their job this weekend. So I don't think it's going to take one person. I think it's going to take a full force bullpen to get through a regional like this.
Devyn, you've been in the situation where you've been able to elevate your game in the postseason. What do you tell other pitchers about that and what it takes to be maybe a step better at this time of the year?
I think it just takes, honestly, being 110%. I think postseason is just that fun time of year. It's like that postseason magic, which everyone talks about. So I think everyone kind of plays up anyways, and just knowing that we have one of the tougher regionals, I think it's something that we can prove and put our not only our team to the test, but also our bullpen and our offense and our defense. You know, we've worked all year long for this, and we've worked so hard. So this is the time to just free it up and see what happens, and just have fun and let that magic just happen.
Devyn, obviously at the end of last year, you weren't really sure if you were going to put on the Wildcat jersey again. So what are the thoughts, emotions, feelings heading into your final NCAA tournament?
Definitely something that I think I'm going to miss, but I'm going to try not to take it for granted. Every pitch, every moment, every second with this team is something that I'll cherish, and just getting to this moment and where I am today is something that I never want to look back on and think that, you know, I didn't go 110%. So I think, if anything, I just want to put that jersey on every single day and play as if it's my last, and, you know, not take any team for granted.
This question is for Caitlin and Devyn. When did you know that you would have the athlete convocation, like kind of on the same day? And have you ever kind of dealt with, you know, both of those things on the same day before?
I feel like it's always the same day, and we kind of, you know, last year we were traveling, so we did it at the Catsies and honored them at the Catsies. And then we're kind of at the mercy of the NCAA practice times, so it got a little tricky today, but they were gracious enough to let softball walk first. So I joke with them that they were going to have their practice uniform on under their robes, but they didn't. They had plenty of time to get dressed. But just congrats to them. I mean, it was a phenomenal ceremony, and we got to celebrate them as students and not just athletes this morning.
Devyn, what was it like to go through the graduation ceremony and then you just hustle over here and, you know, go to softball practice?
You know, being like a student athlete, you wish you'd have like one day to yourself to be like, you know what, I did this. I completed, it's been 23 years of, you know, grinding in the books as well. And I think this is something that you're like, oh, I wish I had like one day. But you know what, softball is something that has been a part of this journey, and it's given me the chance to not only, you know, play softball on one of the greatest fields, in the country, but also just is giving me so many different opportunities just to play at the highest level. And so, quite honestly, if it wasn't for softball, I probably wouldn't be here pursuing my academic dream. So, if anything, I gotta tip my cap to both sides and thank both people, all my professors, and my coaches as well. But honestly, it was cool, being able to smile, look like a girl, feel like a girl for a little bit, and then put my curls up and put my cleats on and have a day for an hour and a half. So yeah.
Devyn, so 2021, you were a freshman last time Arizona hosts a regional. Now they've come back, your last season here, they're hosting a regional. Full circle moment, I guess. But what does it mean to you?
I was actually talking about when our name was called on Sunday. I turned to Kate and I was like, this is literally the same exact thing that happened my freshman year. We're facing, Ole Miss in this regional, and then from there we went on to Arkansas. So I don't know. It's kind of like I'm kind of finishing how I also came in as well. So I think it'll be pretty cool. But you know what? Like I said, definitely not taking any team for granted in this, because we do have one of the tougher regionals. So it's gonna be really important just to take one pitch at a time, one inning at a time, and one game at a time, and just cherish each moment.
And this is for Reagan. This is your first time to be hosting. What's it mean for you and those of you who are having this experience for the first time?
I just think it's an amazing opportunity. One, for our team, obviously, we get to stay home a little more in our comfort zone, but also for our fans. We talked about it earlier in our press conference, how much we value Tucson as a city, community, and just our fans in general. We finally get to show up for them here and give them one of these big games, and I know they'll show up for us 110%. But also for our families, a lot of us are from the West Coast, and they get to travel to this. They get to drive, not always fly, which is on the expensive side. So it's just a great opportunity for everyone around us.
In another life, I cover baseball, and the guys always talk about how the dirt at High Corbett, the infield is harder and more difficult than a lot of other places, and when teams come in here, they're not used to it. Do you feel like that gives you guys an advantage at all here?
Sorry. Oh, absolutely. I think we play a very fast-paced game of softball that maybe not a lot of people are used to, because their dirt's always watered down. It's kind of sucking in all the ground balls, giving them all cute little soft, slow hops. But here it's all quick and gotta be quick. Gotta be ready for his extra little bounces. Thank goodness I'm in the outfield where our grass is perfect. But even for the slapping game, it opens that up for our speed. And I just think it's a little hometown advantage, but also I know the teams coming in have speed as well and are kind of used to that environment as well.
Two questions for Devyn. First, kind of a follow on the graduation topic. Are you going to try to attempt to make the stadium graduation after the game tomorrow?
I wasn't planning on it, but I think one graduation's enough for me. But I also have my College of Medicine graduation tomorrow, but I'm okay with my athletic one. So,
and just obviously you Big 12 player of the year, as well as defensive team as well. How have you been able to develop yourself into such a good defensive pitcher?
I think after I got this honor, I think especially the Big 12 Player of the Year, I remember vividly coming off of my sophomore season after the World Series, and I walked into Kate's office on my exit meeting. I was like, listen, I realized that my pitching's more important than my hitting, and she's like, no, you're going to hit next year. And so that's something that I think that was a turning point for me, is that not only did I not really have as much confidence in myself to be a two-way player, but my head coach did as well, and I think it's really important choosing a school and choosing coaches that let you be the exact person that you want to be, the exact player you want to be. And so I really have to tip my cap to my coaching staff for not only embracing me as a pitcher, but someone who can actually hit and play the field as well, because that's something that my parents and I and my dad and I have worked on ever since I was the age of 8, 9, 10 years old. So yeah, if anything, it's that.
Caitlin, how do you think the non-conference prepared you guys in terms of playing Texas, Arkansas, and UCLA and all those top teams? How did it prepare you for the Big 12 conference and also going into the postseason?
I think it was huge. I got to shout Coach Lapp out for doing the bulk of our scheduling, and we wanted to play as many tough opponents as we possibly could. I think, being in quite a few tight games, Texas was a tight game. UCLA, we went back and forth the whole time, and being able to kind of maintain those rivalries, but also just be in a World Series type of environment day in and day out. Felt really good. The Big 12 as well. I think some of the best pitching exists in the Big 12. We faced a lot of good arms this year. And I just think there's no replacement for that kind of preparation once you go into these types of moments, because there's truly nothing we haven't seen yet to just make them feel prepared for the moments that are going to happen this weekend and for the rest of the season.
With our last few minutes, we're going to go to Zoom. We have Eric Lopez from D1 Softball. Eric, you can go ahead. Okay, it looks like the audio is not working, Eric. I'm so sorry. I'll just have to ask your question. So, from Eric Lopez for Coach and Devyn, reaction to Devyn being top 10 Player of the Year finalist with everything she's gone through.
Well, I'm really excited for it, and I think a lot of people talk about her injury last year and what she overcame, which was a lot. But truly, I go back all the way to freshman year, and Devyn threw 20 innings for us on the mound. I think she had 5 at-bats. Her second sophomore year, I think 4 at-bats. And really just, I think junior year got knocked around a little bit in the circle and has really overcome just adversity, challenges, kind of has gone through the thick of it to become this player. And, I looked at, I think it was lap yesterday, and I was just like, man, I'm just so proud of the way she's playing free right now. And that's what you want to see as a coach, to put the work in just to let yourself go and let yourself play. And I think, she's doing it with her teammates by her side, which has been really cool this year, to see her connect with them offensively, defensively, so that she can just be who she is and be the best version of herself. So I wasn't surprised by it, and at the same time, I'm just so darn proud of it. And I think it's really the culmination of just the day in and day out work that she puts in.
I gotta say, when I looked at the top 25 list, I was like, wow, I'm with all these girls. Like, these girls are amazing, And I think it's such an honor to be a part of that list, and just to see how well and just how much the game is growing, and just seeing how much not only these girls are growing the game now, but also where we're going next and where softball is going. But definitely, I remember, I think it was 2 days ago, I was on the phone with my mom, and I was like, oh, Mom, I didn't make it, because I didn't see, my photo on there, and then I was like, oh, I'm right there, I'm in the top corner. So it's, I probably shouldn't be as surprised. I feel like I need to have more confidence in myself, but quite honestly, I just want to have fun this year. And coming off of the injury last year, no one really understood, and no one really understood what I was going through, and can't really understand it unless you put yourself in someone's shoes. And I think coming off of this year, it's just, I'm just a little surprised by it, but you know what? I'll have a little more confidence going into it. You know what? I'll tell you guys that. But if anything, it's super fun, and it's really awesome to just get all these honors. And I really don't think about it as much. I just try to keep my head steady and just kind of stay balanced on all sides of the ball, and just be the kind of player that my team needs this year and what they need out of me coming into postseason.
All right, thank you all so much for your time, and that will conclude our press conference.
Thank you.